So in this video, we're doing a Reolink install with a 16-channel NVR. It's a rural location, so it gave us the opportunity of using the Duo Flood 2. And no, Reolink did not send any of this equipment to us. They did not send us for review or anything, totally unbiased, throwing this system in because it just works. So we got several Duo 2 floodlights because there's no lighting out here. There's no street lighting out in this rural location. So it was a win-win situation of being able to have 180-degree camera coverage, plus being able to add some floodlights without having to run mains AC. The lighting and the actual cameras all over one Ethernet cable, and then you can make them smart floodlights to trigger off of person, vehicles, and also even animals if you want to see the deer out here. So we're going to jump in, we'll look at some of the NVR, we'll look at how we did some of the camera locations and installs and show you how we did everything on the setup. So this is the 16-channel Reolink NVR. Looks much like the 8 channels, except you do get all the additional ports on the back. This is power over Ethernet, meaning that the power and the data go over the same exact cable. We are hooking up HDMI up to the TV, and we'll power it all up, and then we actually will use a wireless mouse to hide this back behind the cabinet. Now the way this does connect is really simple. If you take your camera, and of course you're going to have a longer cable between the NVR and your outside, and they do give you these little jumpers to try out things. Just plug in one of the cables. Always try your gear before you go mount it up. And then basically you'll just plug it in to the NVR, and it powers and does data all through the cable to power up and transfer all the data for the camera. Definitely a lot better than doing wireless cameras and worrying about signals and everything. But if you do have places where you do need to do wireless, this NVR will support wireless cameras using your Wi-Fi signal from your router. Now, bringing about the router, to get your remote access is just connect up Cat5 cable. They do give that to you in the box, and mount that and plug it into your router, and then you can bring it up on your phone to get all the fun. They are doing the Duo Flood. This is just a protective coating on it, and this does the 2 lights. This is power over Ethernet. This is not Wi-Fi. They do make a Wi-Fi model if you need that. We've covered that before, along with all the other mains powered ones, but you do run this. You got Ethernet right here, and then if you needed to power it for some reason, you could. I've never done that before, but just power up this using power over Ethernet. And you do get pretty decent floodlights. I've covered this one before, but we'll show some of the videos and things after the fact of how this all played out. We do have 6 of the 8 megapixels. This is the 810A we're going to be putting up, along with we're going to be doing 4 of the Duo Floods to cover all of everything in the property, because it's just sometimes easier to mount these and you get 2 cameras in one and only needing to do 1 Ethernet cable. So one thing I do like to do is bring me a spare cable that's crimped and ready to go, like say 200 feet or depending on your size. And that way I can run it inside the house to the NVR and then bring it wherever I need to, and then just temporarily connect it to the flood. And then I'll go ahead and see kind of where we exactly want to mount it. Like we're going to mount it somewhere up here near the Starlink dish. And because you never know, once you go ahead and mount something that, you know, if you made a mistake or whatever, maybe there's a downspout in the way, and cover it. And that way you just temporarily use that 1 cable and call it a day. So case in point on the wire, we ended up mounting the camera right here on this post. We were going to put it on this other post in the center, but then found out that we were too close to this part over here and needed to grab some more down the road. So you can definitely see why doing a temporary wire and just placing your cameras and being able to see exactly what it is just on your phone, because you know, you never know if you want to move the thing and then you've already mounted it, ran the wire, etc. So we were also able to put another duo flood out here because, again, there isn't much lighting. There's no street lights. It's just a dark road. You know, that's just a transformer on that one. So this does give them lighting without having to put more, you know, Romex and wiring and mains AC on this whole back wall. It was dark as hell, but now the actual duo flood over here helps rectify that situation. Plus, gives them, they can see all the way down the gravel road, which is pretty slick. So we've got all the cameras installed. Going through some of the settings, like I do turn off just by double clicking. You can pull up each camera. I do like to go ahead and turn off the watermarks. Just doesn't really make sense unless they want to pay you to advertise. That was in the front flood. So there's not a whole lot of change in here. I go through, a lot of these are the default. The display is where you can change the time and stuff. Like, for instance, you may get some activity in the middle, so maybe we want to move the timestamp to the top right, where it's like in the sky. And then the name is down here in the bottom right, which is totally fine. It's actually, you're not gonna have anything there. I do turn off the watermark. The audio, it always defaults to off. I don't know why, but when we install these, you wanna record audio, you can do that. These are the floods, so it does have the actual two-way talk back and forth. And then the cool part about the floods is the light. The infrared is gonna be your black and white for at night. You got your brightness, and we leave it on night smart mode. And then you can uncheck these for it turns on the lights for person, vehicle, or animal. If you got too many animals, you maybe turn off animal and then just leave it on person and vehicle. Or potentially if you got too many cars drive by, you can take off vehicle, totally up to you. With the playback, you can see we were adding all the cameras in. Let's see if we can find OG. You can do the narrow it down where I just want to see people, and it will change these blue lines just where you got a person, and it will jump to that person. And you can see actually OG is over here walking into the game room. And so it's really easy to find people. If you do want to look at all the cameras and you can see all the stuff, you can see we added these 3 cameras today. These recorded and did everything. And then you've got all the different events and you can jump in and view all those cameras at once. It's a pretty easy interface. This is why I like to go ahead and do the HDMI to the TV. There are other options as well if you wanted to do like a HDMI splitter, because then you could run HDMI over to another bedroom and have the same view. The one thing I did is we use a wireless mouse. I've used the Amazon Basics ones. I'll leave that link down below. This one's a little HP wireless mouse, and I've had an issue with some of the Logitechs not working, but it looks like the HP ones and the Amazon Basics, just so much easier, because when you've got the NVR in a cabinet, and then you can just leave it on the mantle and have it right by the TV, so you can do all the things of pulling up all the different vehicles and playback, and it's just so much easier. But of course, you can do this on your phone, on PC, Mac, etc. too. But that's about it for all the interface and setup of the cameras. Everything's gonna be kind of unique for you, but just go play around with it. And once you do get some usage out of it, you may wanna go tweak a lot of those settings over time. But there's just, for the most part, it is plug and play and sets up and records all the time, and that's totally fine. So to integrate all your Reolink things into Home Assistant for the full local control, it's pretty damn simple. So straight out of the Home Assistant Reolink integration. It's a native integration, and Starkiller OG has been knocking it out of the park for doing all the things and all the different switches and stuff. It's really cool to see how far this has come. And he is even working with Reolink themselves. So it's not like some reverse engineered thing. Like Reolink wants this to work. That's why they got the Works with Home Assistant badge. How awesome is that? And yes, purely local. This is not using the cloud. So you can block Reolink, all the cameras, NVR, block it from the internet. If you're really, security savvy and you want to have full control of things, you're welcome to do that if you like, but it's not required. Because of course, if you want to use the app, you do need to have internet access. And the number one thing I see people run into is like, hey, I can't add the camera. I went and tried to hit the button for add integration. Well, most of the Reolink stuff comes with everything disabled. And that's really probably a good thing for security wise, because not everyone is using the local parts of Reolink. You don't need any, some nerdy little kid hacking someone's NVR. So you do need to enable the HTTP part of the actual NVR or cameras you want to add. And it walks you right through the integration documentation. It's really simple to do. You can do it in the PC app, Mac, the iOS, I think even Android. You can turn on the different pieces of the parts of the Reolink NVR camera. You do need to put in your username and ID. You can probably make other ones for that if you don't want to put in your admin. And yeah, once you do that, you do get all the cool stuff of being able to, hey, turn the floodlights on and off with automations, the siren. You can see all the different, cameras themselves. This is my stuff at home right now, but this is applied to pretty much all of them. Same for the install we just did. It's that freaking simple. And the cool part is it'll even notify you in the settings over here when you have a firmware update for your NVR, cameras, etc., and it will push them right to it. I can actually see the vehicle motion detector just triggered as a car was driving by. So you do get all that depending on whatever camera. This was the Duo Flood, since we were focusing on that on this particular install. But if you are curious, you do say like the track mix. You also get like the PTZ controls and the zoom, all the cool stuff. It's going to vary based on all the camera. I love the work that Starkiller OG has been doing for the Home Assistant world. So that about do it for this one. And if you got any questions or you want to see the links, you can buy any of the stuff down below. The way those do work, there's all affiliate links, but there's no additional cost to you. It does help support the channel. And if you got any questions, comments, leave them down below. And that'll do it for this one. Y'all press all them buttons and y'all take care.